York. I am sitting here with one of the stars of So Help Me Todd back here on the Rich Eisen Show, Skylar Astin. Skylar, it is great to see. We haven't had you back here
It's been too long.
It's been a minute, as they say. And So Help Me Todd, great episode coming up where you and your mom investigate where in the world Aaron Rodgers is. That's going to be
exactly
great.
Yes. We were tracking his recovery. We're kind of following him on his ayahuasca trips and just making sure everything's intact.
Well, there is an ayahuasca episode of So Help Me Todd coming up, right?
Yeah, exactly. Where we kind of go a little deep into ourselves.
Now, so that's something that we need to revisit here. Is you and I have very similar rooting interests.
That is true.
Right. Rangers,
for better or
Knicks,
for worse.
and
Rangers, Knicks, Jets. I don't know about Mets, but yes, that's
so.
awesome.
Are you Mets as well?
I am Mets as well.
Okay. Well, that's T.J. Jefferson behind your right shoulder. He's a Met fan as well. Yeah. I'm older than you. So when Reggie Jackson came to town when I was 8. And my brother was a Met fan. That's where I just said, adios.
Yeah,
see you later, pal.
Yeah, I understand.
You know that. So
you can only suffer so much with
exactly.
Our sports teams.
You're
it's hard, man. I haven't had one championship in my lifetime except the Rangers in '94.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
right. Mark Messier. That was it.
It was a big moment. Brian Leach, Adam Graves, Richter, all those guys. But I think the Rangers are looking really good this year as well.
There you go.
They probably have the best chance out of all my teams.
Well, listen, the Knicks have just been a delight.
It's a joy to watch. It's a joy.
I have just said here, and I'm wondering if you would echo this, and I bet you will. So how's that for a setup? That top 10 Knicks of my entire life that I love, root for, and think is the essence of why I root for the team. Jalen Brunson has cracked the top 10.
He is so far above the top 10. And for me, I made a very declarative statement. Way too early to say this, but I think he's my favorite Knick of all time. I know that sounds like a lot of recency bias, and there's Patrick Ewing, and there's Bernard King, and there's Walt Clyde Frazier, but there's something about him. He's like approaching his prime, and he really feels like a star who's emerged in the right way, and he plays out of his mind. He plays with such heart, and he's just such a leader. Love him on and off the court.
I'm with you. Yeah. And I just think part of the reason why you might feel that way for him, not to ascribe any feelings to you, but we share it, is he has made himself into what he has become.
Exactly.
If that makes any sense. That there was, and I think a legitimate, there's been a huge pushback from Knicks fans, but it was legitimate when Kenny Smith said at the time on the NBA on TNT that the Knicks are just never going to be where Knicks fans want them to be because they never have the best player on the court.
That fuels our fire, though. I mean,
I know it does, but that's changed, though. Brunson, is becoming that.
Yeah, I will take him over. This is crazy, I know, with Halliburton and Lillard and everyone, but I would take him right now as a leader over any point guard in the league. I really am very
now you're getting there.
Maybe it's because I'm feeling such joy in just watching him come into his own.
Yes,
and I just see such a future and such a potential and such a building block in him.
Right.
That's how I feel it specifically for the Knicks, for this squad. Like I really, I was at the Christmas Day game when they played Damian Lillard, and of course, who wouldn't want him? We wanted him for years when he was on Portland.
Right.
But now that we actually have that 1A point guard in Jalen Brunson, it's I don't know, he's like my guy.
Well, I mean, the Christmas Day game was that the one the Knicks won?
Yep.
They did
that.
I
sang the National Anthem on their good luck charm. That's 3 years in a row.
Hey, now.
Yeah.
What is that like, singing the National Anthem in Madison Square Garden, brother?
It's very historic. It's I'm now comfortable because I've done it several times. I will say for the Rangers, it's a bit easier because you're kind of at the foot of the ice, so you get to see this banner, and they have the lyrics right there. when you're doing the Knicks, you're half court, and it's kind of right there. And so if you got to check out a lyric or two, it's a little like there's gleaming, and there's beaming, and there's streaming. There's a lot of similar words. You don't want to kind of circle back and start the same verse over and over. But I've done it enough times that the lyrics are no issue.
That's a gambling thing in the NFL.
Oh, I know.
At the Super Bowl.
The over-under?
Yeah.
See how long it goes?
Do you know this sort of stuff?
Yes.
Can you tell just by the first, watching someone else do it?
Of course. What's the over-under? Probably 90 seconds, or even maybe it's for the Super Bowl, it's probably longer. It's probably closer to 100 seconds, maybe even 2 minutes.
Reba McEntire's
he's our degenerate of the staff,
right.
By the way.
But she ended up going over because she double braved.
She double braved.
She double braved in the over hit.
You don't say.
She was right on the number, 96 seconds or something like that.
That's the real insider trading betting thing that I could really make a lot of people a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there's a way to do it. There's a way to slow it down, especially if you're going a cappella, which I do. If you're not to track, if you are to track, then you can have someone sneak into the sound check, and that's how you can kind of figure it out.
Well, now that's Mike Del Tufo's area of
I
expertise.
used to do that, and I could have easily
Right?
done that because I saw a lot of those rehearsals.
Yeah.
We're going to get banned from Super Bowls.
Yeah, exactly.
Song orders.
We're about to get banned.
Oh, it was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Of course you did it a cappella.
I had to. That's,
Yeah.
that's
Is
my
that your
calling
brand?
card.
Is it your
That's
brand?
my calling card. They asked that. No. Honestly, every time I've done it, it's never been an option. It's just like, you're going to go out there, you're going to be vulnerable, and you're going to sing about our country.
Did they give you?
That's the directive.
You're a patriot, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is tough to tell a Jet fan. But,
Exactly.
Listen, so you choose whether you can do it 2-track, to use your phrase?
I've never had the option. It's always just like, no, you're going to go out there. You're just going to, they don't even give me the in-ear. I just go, there's a bit of an echo. I just trust the process. And,
Dude.
Yeah. That's the Broadway style. We do it live.
Okay. Okay. You only know one. You only have one speed, Skylar Astin.
And it's live.
It's live.
Maybe if I do like a Super Bowl or a World Series or a big one, I think there's a little bit of like you can get like a Fergie bass or something like an upright or something weird like that.
Okay, very good. I've got Skylar Astin here on the Rich Eisen Show. Were you the only? How many people on the set of, I believe it was Pitch Perfect 2, that knew who the Green Bay Packers were when they came on the set? You were a small subset, or am I just
a fair amount? We had, there's like Adam Devine. I know Elizabeth Banks and Max Handelman, our producers and director. They are big sports people,
right?
So, and they were the ones that recruited the Green Bay Packers.
That I do know
yes.
that. I think we have Clay Matthews on here saying that he got a direct message from Elizabeth Banks and then was very excited about that.
Yes.
And then found out she was married, and then that was a problem.
Yeah, but it got us the Packers in the movie. I mean, she really flirted her way to a great sequel. No, I think there was a bunch of people on the offensive line. I know David Bakhtiari and a bunch of people like those guys, who was a legendary, player. But they were huge fans of the first movie, and they apparently rehearsed and knew my entire finale number. They did it in the locker room. It went kind of viral. And so that's why Elizabeth reached out and was like, would you want to do a little cameo in the sequel?
Yes.
And so we were all pumped.
Okay.
We did not have Aaron Rodgers, but we did have Jordan Rodgers, his brother, who was a bit of a doppelganger.
So that's halfway home, right there.
Exactly. We were like, we have a Rodgers in the sequel.
And how about the Jets now have Rodgers?
We do.
And
I heard we do.
I know, for 4 snaps.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, he's yet to even tweet out, I do not intend to be the vice president of the United States.
Right.
So at the very least, I do believe the Jets' offensive line will have a nickname of Secret Service. Because they're protecting Aaron Rodgers.
And we're building a heck of an offensive line.
And by the way, Tyron Smith being added, and Moses Morgan being back, and, Vera Tucker hopefully will get through an entire season.
Potentially the draft will have another weapon.
That is entirely possible.
We need depth there. We need to protect our vice president.
Vice president,
of course,
exactly.
And
Bakhtiari might be.
Is that true?
Well, he's available. The Packers are moved. They've moved on.
I have his phone number. I still have his phone number. Yeah, I used to always get
FaceTime.
Anytime you love it, can you imagine?
By the way, yes, we can imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have my phone's in the green room.
That's right. We left it in the green room. Damn it!
That's the only reason.
That's the reason why we're not FaceTiming David Bakhtiari right now.
But yeah, anytime you have an athlete's number, you don't want to abuse it, but you want to be like, hey, good luck today in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean, or whatever they're doing. That's so cool.
How would you like to be a teammate of Aaron Rodgers again and be part of the New York Jets? And
something tells me Aaron's probably doing the recruiting, and I don't need to jump on board. But no, I'm excited. It's like one of the few times that a sports organization does a full mulligan. They're like, whoops, didn't do it this year.
Right.
We had certain expectations. They're keeping Salah, they're keeping everyone. And we're just gonna try again.
Run it back. There's no other choice but to run it back.
Yeah.
It's that simple, because although the Jets did kick the tires on every quarterback at the combine out of due diligence, but sitting down at 10, they're never going to be able to go. And plus, that would be insane to use any draft capital on moving up to go get a quarterback when you've got all eggs in the vice presidential basket.
That's
right now.
And Tyrod Taylor backing him up. That's nothing to sneeze at.
That was that had to have happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That
we need a plan B.
100% had to have happened.
Yeah.
We needed that protection from the other quarterback.
Exactly.
Skylar Astin here on the Rich Eisen Show. So Help Me Todd on CBS, taking a break from its schedule over the next week.
Yes.
March Madness.
Hey, we got to be preempted.
I know that.
I get it.
Right?
We'll get some cool commercials though. We'll get some new eyeballs. We'll
Okay.
get the college boys.
It'll be
to watch our show.
That's
to watch our mother-son legal.
when
drama.
Creighton's at the line
Yeah.
shooting a 1-and-1.
Exactly.
Ian Eagle will say, "So help me, Todd."
That's
Thursday
right. When
nights.
TCU is storming the court, they'll be like, but also, hope you like mother and sons working together and pulling hijinks and hullabaloos. No, it's all for a good reason, and I'm excited for when we do come back, because our back half of the season is really fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
We just did a prank war episode, meaning I had to pull pranks and I had to be pranked, and so I'm still have like some paint in my my ears, my
Okay.
eardrums and stuff like that.
Well, TJ used to be a producer on Punk'd.
Oh, no way.
So you're all ears on
Yeah, I mean,
pranks.
I still have a whole notebook full of ideas. So
Okay.
if you need them, let me know.
Are we going to make Justin Timberlake cry? Is that what's going to happen?
Did you do that?
episode.
I mean, I wasn't there for that one because that was the very first one we ever shot. So it was very locked down. But yeah, that did
in fact
Probably the
happen,
most famous episode of Punk. Of
Oh,
all
for
time.
sure.
which is why you're bringing it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nightmare, right? As a celebrity, that you just act crazy because something crazy's happening to you and
Right.
everyone's just laughing at your
Yes.
vulnerability.
Marcia Gay Harden must have thought she was being punked when they told her you're being preempted for March Madness.
Exactly.
That-
She was like, what is that? What is March Madness? And then we explained it to her, and she understands.
So
of
she
course.
didn't fill out her bracket? Is that what you're saying?
You know what? Actually, Marcia I could see her do. She likes to get like festive for stuff like that. She
Okay.
got really into we were shooting on a Saturday once during the NFL playoffs,
Yes.
and she did like a whole little, she set us all up with like snacks and stuff like that. Had like a Cowboys jersey on, I mean, even though they weren't in it, but she was a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
So, she's festive with sports, which I think we can get a bracket going.
That's
for
cool.
Sure.
All right, you got that going. Fantastic. I'm just take a stab at it. Is this the first time you ever worked with her, or did you ever work Broadway with her or anything like that?
No,
or-
I've been a fan of her work, obviously, for so many years, and we kind of are cut from the same cloth in that we both do theater and then
Yes.
both do kind of TV and film. So our process is very similar, and she's she's super easy to work with. She's just super prepared, so it feels good on the day. We get to do like 3-4 minute walk and talks where they don't really cut the cameras, and it's like just us kind of doing some lengthy scene work.
No kidding.
Which is nice, yeah.
I mean, you're a pro. I shouldn't even say this, but that would just kind of freak me out a little bit. Like, if you're like 2 minutes into the walk and talk here, like you better.
Oh yeah, there's that
better
feeling.
stick the
Or if
landing.
someone else like kind of has to be receiving you on the other end of the walk and talk, and they just have the final line, and they don't slot in right, and you're like, you had one job, you had one line. But I mean, it happens. It happens. It's like there's a bit of a tense thing, especially when it's going well. When you're like, but similarly, Marcia and I, unless if we really, there's a real misstep, like we'll just keep going forward with it.
Yeah.
Even if the line is like we're kind of bobbling it, and then we keep it going if we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, catch up on season 1, the start of season 2, right now on Paramount Plus through the Roku portal, while we're waiting for So Help Me Todd to come back with new episodes to conclude season 2, starting Thursday, April 11th at 10 Eastern Time. And of course, again, you can check out everything on Paramount Plus right here on the Roku channel. It's great to see you again, brother.
So great to see you.
So
too.
next time we see each other,
Knicks championship, Rangers championship, and the Jets will be in the playoffs.
Okay. With Aaron Rodgers.
With Aaron Rodgers,
Okay,
right, yeah.
Okay. Write that down. This is going to
I'm
happen.
gonna put a future on that.
Okay.
Exactly.
So the
yeah.
Patriot fan is writing nothing down right now.
Could we make a deal to have you come back before all that happens, just in case it takes a long time for that?
Exactly.
Hey.
We want to catch him back before
I want to see him
2030.
again this century.
It's not a prerequisite.
Yes, not a prerequisite,
Okay.
but ideally.
Yes, we're speaking things into existence. Pipe down over
This
there.
is what The Secret is about. We just read
Come on.
it.
All right, Skylar Astin right here. Follow him at Skylar Astin on both Twitter and Instagram. Great to see you here, brother.
Great to see you.
You
too.
bet. We'll see you then soon with all the championships. In the meantime, So Help Me Todd. Check it out right here on Roku. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.